I work as a night watchman at an old countryside hotel, and on my very first shift, the manager handed me a crumpled piece of paper with a list of handwritten rules. He told me that if I wanted to make it to morning, I had to follow them without question, especially rule number 4. The list was bizarre. Do not look into mirrors after midnight. Ignore the crying from room 210. But the 4th point read, if at 3:15 a.m. a tall man in a black top hat enters the lobby and asks for the basement key, politely refuse and offer him a glass of ice water instead. I figured it was just a stupid prank for the new guy and spent most of the night drinking coffee and watching TV. Exactly at 3:15 a.m., the front doors creaked open with a heavy groan, even though they were bolted shut. A man stepped into the lobby. He was so tall that his top hat nearly brushed the chandelier, and his hands, clad in white gloves, looked unnaturally long. He approached the desk, and I felt the temperature in the room drop so sharply that steam began to rise from my breath. The man didn't say a word. He simply reached out and pointed a finger at the basement door behind my back. His face was hidden in the shadow of his hat's brim, but I could see a wide, frozen grin of unnaturally white teeth. Paralyzed by fear, I forgot the rules and just stood there, unable to move or speak. The man leaned toward me, and I heard a faint sound like the rustling of dry grass. He began repeating my name over and over, even though I wasn't wearing a name tag. Remembering the list, my hands shaking, I poured a glass of water from the cooler and placed it on the counter, stammering that the basement was off limits. The creature in the top hat slowly took the glass, and the moment its fingers touched the surface, the water instantly turned into black ice. He didn't drink it. He simply opened his hand, and the glass shattered into 1,000 pieces on the floor. In the next second, the lobby lights flickered, and when they came back on, the man was gone, and the doors were tightly locked. I sighed with relief and reached for a broom to clean up the shards, but I froze when I looked at the security monitor. On the recording, I could see myself standing alone in an empty hall, pouring water and placing it on the counter. But that wasn't the terrifying part. On the tape, the glass didn't just fall on its own. It was clearly visible how an invisible, massive hand was slowly tightening around my throat while I reached for the broom. When I looked in the restroom mirror 5 minutes later, my neck was covered in distinct bruises from long